Okay. I don't really know what I'm getting myself into. I haven't watched your rankings. I don't really know the
You're
vibe.
yeah, you're not
Or
missing
no.
much. First one I drank a lot, and
Oh
then
boy.
yeah, the second one I also drank a lot.
Oh boy. Okay. How long is this gonna take?
Uh, I think we're just gonna go over invite since just because we kind of wanted your opinion on that scene a bit more. Oh, am I
Okay.
capturing the right? Okay, I'm capturing the right window now. So yeah, and then the third episode, nobody was available, so I did it by myself and put on some relaxing fire noises and Stardew Valley music and did an ASMR edition of it.
Beautiful.
And the fourth one, we actually had a normal episode where we actually just talked about the games,
Awesome.
and I was sober.
Okay.
So, it could be anything. We also have this kind of open office concept where anybody just joins the channel randomly at any time. So,
Oh cool. That's awesome. All right. I can't wait for that.
yeah,
All
so the
right.
first,
Now I'm really excited. I want to see who stops by.
yeah, so it could be nobody, it could be everybody. The first episode we had about 15 people. The third episode we had 0 people. So, like I said, it could be anything.
Awesome. Okay.
So anyway, yeah. So welcome to. I guess I should do the introduction. Welcome to the episode. Was this episode 5 of the officerreekz Originals Network RGL Season 17 Advanced and Invite Power Rankings week number 5. This time with introduce yourself, our guest.
Grapejuice, Darwin the Third. That's me, baby, and I'm here.
And if you don't recognize him, that's really on you for not being in touch with the scene. And wanted to have you on today. Of course, just want to get your thoughts on invite and such. We had Vox29. Actually, I'll show you my screen. You can see what I'm seeing, what the viewers are seeing. Um, yeah, Vox2903 said, just wondering, couldn't you get like some higher level players, parentheses, like recognizable invite players in the scene, to talk about the economic state of the world instead of the same players? Could be more interesting, IMO. Well, we've heard your feedback. So, yeah, got someone who's had a little bit more success than myself and Mig and Throne and Rave AC and Unicorn Wizard and the rest of the Anglerverse. So yeah, I mean, Mr. Juice got I think you've got third place before, right?
I've got third place twice
A
and
third.
fifth place twice, so I only get odd placements in invite. So obviously that means I'm due for a first place. So
Could be the season. Could be it. Well, maybe not this one. This season is pretty stacked, but I like the confidence. Yeah, just kind of had a couple questions for you today. Kind of want to get your thoughts on invite in general. I think the first thing I wanted to hear you talk about was I wanted you to talk about your team. I know Global Clan Ice, you got Scratch. You played with Scratch for quite a while. I think you played with Dinko before, right? If I remember
I
right.
have not. The only players I've played with before on this team are Scratch 3 seasons, Alexandros at Fullerton Land, and that's it. But there's a surprise. Okay, there's a new surprise change uh, to this spreadsheet that you can make. Our medic going
Oh,
forward will be Phantom. Denko is getting fucked up by that IRL shit, so he has stepped down from the team.
well,
So that's a
okay. Live
surprise.
updates right here. Live pre-recorded updates.
This
And
is we played with Phantom last night. That was our first go at it. So
all right. That's exclusive information. Glad you heard it here first. I'm going to upload this before I update the spreadsheet. It can be the
mhm.
breaking news. But
Yep. And Phantom is a teammate who I have played with before. We played together on Aubrey Plaza Fan Club in ESEA Season 25 Open. So there you go. Lots of history there.
it's
Anyways,
exciting stuff. Very
anyways,
exciting. When you said
what about
fan, I thought you were gonna say Fanta addiction.
anti-addiction? What class does he even main?
He's like
I think he plays soldier.
most plays demo. He's like I don't really know how to. I don't know if you've like played with him in pugs, but he has a unique and different play style, to say the
He plays
least.
everything in bugs, so
Yeah,
that's probably where I got soldier from.
but Yeah, I kind of wanted to. I mean, first of all, I mean, I guess first of all, tell us about Phantom, and I'm curious about how it compares to like your Dinko, like how his playstyle's different so far, and I think this is going to affect the team going forward.
The thing about Phantom is that she's a lot quieter than Dinko. We've tried out her before. Like me and Scratch in season 15, we thought about like a Mustard Overlord type of team with Phantom because Mustard and Phantom want to play sometimes together. And then Phantom is just really good at medic. So if I ever am making a team and I need a medic, she's like the first name that I go to just in case she wants to play because I personally feel like it'd be foolish to pass her up. So
Yeah, so I guess just curious, was there a reason you didn't pick up Phantom earlier, or is it just not the right timing?
wasn't the right timing. We committed to Dinko in the preseason, so it was just yeah, we committed to Dinko like week 0 basically before the season started, and you know, of course I messaged Phantom before the season started to get her to try out, but wasn't feeling it then, and she's basically just saving our asses right now. So yeah.
Yeah, well, luckily she's able to slide in there, kind of save the team. And speaking of mid-season replacements, also, I know you got Alex EXE, I know Penny, I don't know, step down or some other situation. I don't know if you're at liberty to speak about that, but how did that kind of come into play, and how does it feel different to kind of your previous to most play style?
See, the two Alexes are actually quite good friends with each other, and so Mr. .exe was just hit up by the Dross, and here we are. Um, we were thinking we had a Verdant in our back pocket, but he was starting his job this month, and it was really just tricky to get him to play, and Alex RGX as well, just kind of swooping in, saving our asses. So yeah, he only plays like 3 or 4 nights a week. He's a busy man, but we picked him up because he's really talented, and we are willing to make the concession to get him on our roster. So
Yeah, how do you feel about like? Do you feel like I know you've like already played Invite for a while and like you have a lot of experience yourself, but do you feel like he's like even like kind of teaching guys some things, or because I know he's like been pretty successful and played Invite for quite a while at a high level.
he's pretty cozy. He did lead a demo review for us, and it was quite good. I think he's really zen and just really does 400 damage a minute, and so no complaints. Um, he's very talented. Uh, yeah,
Mhm.
love playing with that guy. He's awesome. It's a privilege to play with him.
Yeah, I'm also a big fan of Alex EXE. A funny thing, I don't know if you remember that one demo I used to play with Georgie in
Yeah, yeah,
advance.
yeah.
He actually
Georgie goes back a long time, but
yeah
yeah, go ahead.
yeah he actually mentored Alex EXE when he was coming up, and then
Oh
of
yeah,
course Georgie quit for a while, and then he got a couple demo reviews from Alex later on. So
yeah. There you go.
that's good message to the community though. You know what goes around comes around. You never know when you're gonna be up, when you're gonna be down, all
Mhm.
around. Who is gonna owe you a favor later, but I guess I also want to kind of know about. I know you played with Scratch for a while. How do you say like Scratch has developed over the years and the time you played with him?
Scratch is Scratch is Scratch. You know what you're getting when you're picking up Scratch and you're playing on a team with Scratch. When he and Penny hit me up to play the season, I'm like, all right, Scratch combo scout. All right, Scratch combo scout. I knew what I'm getting into. He's very remarkable mechanics, iffy on the main calling, kind of feeds, comes up sniper and makes up for it. He's definitely a wild card player. Um, and he'll be the first to admit it, so I don't feel bad throwing him under the bus like that. So yeah, he's got that furry power in him. I don't know. He's something else. He's Scratch, and that's all I can say.
Let's maybe choke on my drink. Yeah, I mean furry power. Look, there's a reason there's a lot of furries in the higher levels of TF2. So I'm just saying that any of the I wouldn't say younger people out there, but people who aren't at that top level yet, it's something to consider. It's a lifestyle. You really got to
Is it a
commit to it.
lifestyle?
For some people, it is. I mean, again, I'm not into that lifestyle, but definitely not. But you know, there could be let me be clear, I've been drinking, so
Of
I forgot,
course,
I
yeah, I
forgot where
understand.
it's. See, that I wasn't going to drink, I wasn't really planning on it, but then I thought, I don't think I've talked to Grapejuice in years without being drunk, so I don't want to break the cycle, you know?
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, and of course, like, you know, Alexander and Doherty is also kind of just curious about kind of your thoughts in their place. Actually, I did have another question about Scratch. He did say something about the main calls, and that's something that, at least from when I've watched him, I've always been really impressed by his calling. What did he mean by that, I guess?
Scratch, he just he wants to play flank scout. He every season he's like, yeah, I kind of hate playing combo scout, but I do it because it's just sort of what he has always done. And in season 14, you might recall, we started with Scratch on flank scout with me and Shamu on pocket scout, and we made the switch later on, just like to stabilize some things, um, and get Scratches get Shamu on flank, and just like feel out how things would work, right? And
Mhm.
so so that was season 14. Scratch initially started on flank scout, put him back on combo scout, and things went better for us. So Scratch's calls, in Scratch's words, sometimes he just wants to take a second and chill, and at an invite level, you don't get to take a second and chill sometimes. So that's the one thing that he's been trying to work on as a player, is trying to kind of be more fluid in the game. It's really easy to, where he doesn't struggle at an invite level. He struggles at like a tippy top invite level. Like if you stack
Mhm.
Scratch up against Caps, Exile, Banny, Saigai, like Shamu, like it's a world of difference between the composure and the foresight that they have, what compared to Scratch, who is much more heads up, like this is the situation right now. Let's make this happen right now. Those players are much more like they're another step ahead, um, and so those teams and those players benefit from setting up in advance,
Mhm.
whereas our team can kind of benefit from the scrappiness and the chaotic moments where things could go either way. We can find ourselves coming out on top some of the time, as opposed to we have that X factor when compared to the other teams, um, who are maybe more set up. And if we can disrupt that setup and sort of get things messy, then that's when we can have some benefit to our game.
Yeah, and kind of on that topic, I know you have like Doherty, and at least my perception of Alexander is he's always been a wild card. Do you think he's kind of a factor in that? Like when you kind of get into those like kind of chaotic situations, I guess.
Alexandros can Alexandros capitalizes on those crazy moments. I think he is also a very setup based player. I think he likes having a setup. I think he likes having the stability, and so
Mhm.
I think he sort of offsets Scratch in that regard. Like I think we have a like half of our roster is very like let's set up, and half of our roster is very capitalize on chaos. And I think you know um maybe we could lean into one or the other more, but I think we have like a balance where we can keep each other in check when sometimes when some of us are trying to push the setup too hard and some of us are trying to push the chaos too much.
I see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's good to have that balance. Kind of. I mean, I feel like the teams I've been on have been a bunch of people standing, kind of like it felt like an RTS game. And many times where it's just like a lot of people are kind of standing around, like waiting for orders. But you know, since I was a medic player, you know, that made me feel good. Made me feel like I actually was doing something, I guess. Uh, but
Your
yeah, I
combo
mean,
says your combo scout says use Uber and you right click and it's like, yeah, I used Uber.
yeah, you know, it's look, I always dreamed of being an actual good combo scout player, and I fucking sucked at that shit. as you might have seen by some previous clips, if you're in the know. But I can kind of live my dreams vicariously by telling my combo scout what to do, mainly Ali. But anyway,
Yeah.
but back to you. Enough about me. Nobody knew who I was. They wanted someone better. They weren't happy with the seventh place the one time seventh place medic. But they wanted the someone of a kind of a higher caliber. So I was kind of curious overall, though. We ranked your team number 6, and how do you feel about that? Do you feel like you deserve to be higher? Do you feel like you can kind of surpass the cell in the near future, or do you feel like that's pretty accurate? What are your thoughts on that?
I think, anything can happen. And that's, what else do you want me to say really here? But
I want to say you're
I
number one.
we
I wonder
we
you have that
we've
confidence.
we've had some good scrim results against Jiminy in the cell. I think we're due for an upset. I think we're right there. Um I think I think we're right there. We were having good scrims before they died against the Dot Hogs as well. Like we're there. I think we
Mm.
just need to lock in for the match, and we can show people what's up. That being said, we also could lose 5-0. Based on scrim results, like when we're playing our game, we can give them a real good run for their money. So I think we could get fifth. I think we could get fourth if things really go our way. So
Okay, so
yeah.
you're saying this 225 match versus Cell we should must watch is what you're saying. Saying something's gonna happen that
I'm
game.
playing that match to win. I'm telling you that much. So I'm not playing for sixth place. I'm playing for first place. And you may laugh and say, "But Grapejuice, there's Froyotech and Franz J and like a G6." Yeah, and I want to beat those guys, so I'm playing for first place.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I mean, I feel like a lot of people have this mentality of like, oh, we're playing a much better team, especially like the lower to like mid invite teams versus like the top invite teams. I've seen this from a lot of players. They're just like, okay, I just hope we do okay. Let's, if we get around, that's a win in our book. That's a pussy mentality. So I like that. You're playing to win, playing to beat the best, no matter how realistic or unrealistic it is. So I mean, you can't beat the best unless you believe you can beat the best. So I like it. Like when I was going into that game against you guys, it was like what season 13 or something, 14, where I was playing soldier and doing like 100 DPM. I was like,
You heard?
I believe we could win that game, and we didn't.
Yeah,
But we
it was close.
we
I
did
think it
better than
almost
we thought.
it was like 2-1 or something. That game was a nail biter. Oh my god, that was a breakdown. Also, I think I talked about it on my when I was talking to Sayo on his podcast. How like that match was probably a catalyst for like we need to take a break week at some point in the season because we need to clear our minds a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing things different that game. Look, nobody can prepare for the things I was doing that game. I'm just saying. So don't take it too hard. Of course, you did win in the end. So. But by the way, they have a podcast, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
I didn't know
Sayo
we had
runs
competition.
it's not like a podcast. It's more of like a once in a while retrospection chats.
Oh, okay, I see. I see.
Yeah, they've done like 6 maybe, I don't know, over the course of like a year and a bit. So anyways,
Yeah. So, I think what people care more about though is I was kind of curious, like what teams you're doing kind of weekly scrims with, and just kind of want to get your thoughts on each team individually as well. You don't have to
our
go into as much detail or as little detail as you want, really.
our weeklies are High Five Sunday, Florida Man Monday, uh Jiminy Tuesday, Froyo Wednesday, Poop Gaming Thursday. So we've got a little bit of top, little bit of bottom. Um I think man, I'm you're gonna have to pick a team and I can talk about
Yeah,
them. I
yeah, yeah.
can't.
Let's just start with the Florida man. Of course, I mean, a lot of these players, at least I think about 4 to 6 of them, won advanced last season, completely dominated, and already having a lot of struggles so far. Haven't really won a game. haven't really made it close. Maybe like got a couple rounds with you guys, maybe then still like 4-2's like reasonably decisive. I'm kind of curious, what do you think is those guys need to change to kind of reach the next level, to like go up a couple places?
Oh man, what do they need to change? Yeah, think we only started weeklying them very recently. Like we've only maybe scrimmed them twice. Um, because they were basically our replacement. We shuffled around once the Dot Hogs died. Um, those guys, I don't know. When I played against them last season, when I was playing on Combo Scout in Advance, those guys were unstoppable. When I play against them this season, I'm just not afraid, and they don't do anything that makes me afraid.
Would you say they're
A
like
lot
maybe
of
too
their a
passive, or
lot
is
of
it
their
more just
a
they're
lot
like
of their
predictable?
predictable and solo. Um, like their soldiers just kind of fly in or like hide in a corner and you just get a free soldier kill and it's like, okay, I don't need to worry about one of their soldiers for the next 20 seconds. Okay, and we're pushing right now. It's like, okay, nobody's gonna stuff me at this choke point. Okay, I can walk through. So they had a bad solo play hiding in a corner, and it means I can walk through this choke point for free. Like, cool, thumbs up. Like I'm a happy man. Um, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's the one thing that's like really probably their biggest deficit, with all due respect to Rero and GMK, which I have played with and against for a very long time in this game.
And do you think
Who I respect very much as people. They're just a little bit funny with the way that they play soldier. They could get their team involved in a lot of the things they do, and it'd be a lot more successful.
Yeah, and do you think just kind of curious? I mean, I know you're kind of from the outside perspective, but do you feel like not having a Manicute no whip is part of that, or do you think that at least from my experience, I played with Manicute in the past, and uh, just kind of like as a sub, and he's been just really good at just coordinating, communicating, and just feel like he's a very solid all around player. You feel like
Yeah,
that's possibly a
I
factor,
really
or
like Manicute, but here's the thing: is I don't know with the circumstances that OIB and Manicute aren't playing. I think Manicute's just like a busy boy and doesn't
Mhm,
want to play like 5 nights, or maybe even 4 nights a week. He doesn't want to play right now, and I don't know why OIB isn't with them anymore. So I can't speak to why or even if, because those guys won advanced, and this is a really strong invite season, and so even if they didn't make those changes, I don't see them really being better than Poop Gaming. You know what I mean?
mhm,
So it's not like a bad thing to be the worst team in invite. It's like I just don't think that if they had their advanced winning roster that it would make a difference. Like I think GMK and Maze are both adequate substitutes,
mhm.
and yeah, I don't know. They're just the worst team in invite, and it's like, oh well. I think
This is a very respectable season to be the worst team in invite. So
yeah, it's one thing to be like the worst team in invite, and it's like you have three advanced teams playing invite, but it's like this is like a good, hard, tough season of invite. Like these guys have their work cut out for them to try and get some wins. So respect for getting 2 rounds on us. I mean, they didn't win 2 rounds by being dog shit. They won 2 rounds by winning 2 rounds. So
yeah, I mean, I definitely don't envy like being the bottom, like a kind of a lower invite team this season, just given how many like insane teams there are. It's like when I played my one invite season, I was playing in Disney World. This is something different. This is the Ukraine war right here. This is real shit.
is it? All right,
Maybe that might be a little look that
whatever you say, Jonathan Ray. Like, you know
I
what,
don't know.
man?
Might be a bit of a dramatic, but we'll get on that later. We'll that's a topic for later. But anyway, I also want to get I think you said you play Poop Gaming as well.
Yes, that's the match that you're watching in the background as well. We
Yeah,
play
what do
them in the
you
match, then we play them on Thursdays as our weekly.
yeah, what do you think of those guys? What do you think of like kind of what do you think they need to kind of surpass you guys, reach that next level?
I'm not sure. They kind of got a little bit of everything on their team. They got some X Factor. They got some They got some cool composure. Um, I don't want to lose to those guys in our rematch, so I'm not going to say a word. I'm not going to give them any hints.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. Let's see, what are the other teams you said you scrim pretty regularly?
The other teams that we scrim are High Five, Yite, and Banny.
Okay, yeah, I guess tell us about this version of Froyo, because at least my other co-hosts were kind of saying at the start of the season, they they thought G6 was better based on their roster, and even through like the first couple weeks, they're saying, "Oh, G6 better than Froyo." But let me be clear. I was always not saying I'm a Froyo fan, but was saying that I thought they were number one, and I kind of want to get your perspective from playing them a bunch. Um, what do you think is making them this 10-0 dominant team in this pretty tough season of Invite?
I have a different perspective than maybe the other top teams because, I think we're getting shit stomped by them quite frequently, as opposed to maybe, Franz J and like a G6 who are at least competitive with them, even if they're still losing. They're just so unstoppable. Like, I don't know. They're so threatening on every roll. Like Patty will just give his life to make all the space in the world, make you stare at him with your all fiber of your being. Meanwhile, Laz is following up. Habib is shitting on you. Brand Slam is fucking dodging every shot and meat shotting you, and Banny is making the most perfect calls of all time. It's not fun to play against. Um, it's just not fun to play against. And I think their biggest weakness is just Hubita like choosing to troll Banny because he thinks it's funny. And when your biggest weakness is someone choosing to troll Banny,
That's just like
I don't
Shade,
think
so you know.
I don't think they have a weakness. I think they're really strong for a reason. And if Hubita wants to drop an Uber in a scrim, I don't think that's very indicative of them having a weak roster. So
So
so yeah.
I have two thoughts on that. So first of all, I had another co-host who randomly joined say that he felt like Hubba's racism is a good part of his gameplay. Do you feel like that's part of their success?
Um You know what? Great question. I think the real answer to that question, I'll give you the retelling that I heard from Hobbit on season 9, but
Okay.
no, he was, I think, angrier than he should have been given the circumstances. I won't make any excuses for him on that regard, and I won't make any excuses for him for what he said at all. But what he said is he was angry and he wanted to quit the game and he wanted to say some shit so bad that it would like get him banned and he would never have to play the game again. That's what he said. I think there's still no excuse for what he said, but you know,
Hey,
given the people who he interacts with, I don't think he's racist and I don't think he's homophobic or transphobic or anything. I think he was just a dumbass kid who wanted to ban himself from the game so that he would focus on his life. And look where he is now. Look where you are now, Hubita. You're playing on Tech, so
hey, it worked out for him. It's just
yeah. Arguably didn't. Arguably, this is a bad thing because it means he's still playing this fucking game. But yeah, that's the racism part of his game. I don't know if the racism is doing him any favors because
Okay.
I
So
don't
he's
know.
not like racist enough, is what you're saying. He needs to get more. He needs to
Yeah,
get real
sure.
racist.
Have the man say more slurs and get more racist. You know what, man? Fuck
He
it.
needs
I
to
don't
bring
care.
back what made him great. Make Hubba great again, is what you're
Make
saying.
Covenant great. Yeah, dude. Yeah, whatever. Dude. Yeah, make Covenant great again, man.
Yeah. I sympathize. I've said worse things than Hubba for sure. I didn't mean it. And I was also like older at the time. I was probably like 25 at the time.
Oh,
But
so
anyway,
like even more inexcusable.
yeah. But I
You know
didn't mean
what?
it. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah,
But anyway,
you
I'm
know.
reformed. I'm the ripe old age of something now. Anyway, moving
Oh
on.
boy.
So what are the other teams you're playing? By the way.
High five and Jiminy Crickets.
Jiminy. Yeah. Okay. I was really curious about this team because I put this team. So to give a quick recap, and we'll get on this a little bit more later. Also, what time do you have to go? And I was planning this to be
I
maybe
don't
like
really
45 minutes ish, more like
not much
30.
pressure. Not much
Okay.
pressure. I can keep going for a little bit.
Sure. Sounds good. Yeah. So Gemini. So to kind of recap the matches for the people who are unaware of the happenings around RGL. Of course, if you were unaware of the happenings around RGL, you can check out the Fireside TF2 competitive recap. You know, has some better information than what you're hearing here, probably. More edited, more professional. But yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, right. As far as like the match results recently, I know Gemini recently beat Bronze J, then Bronze J in the rematch with G6. Kind of scraped past them, pretty close. And yeah, Bronze J's been great, and then Gemini beat them. So I'm just kind of curious what you think makes Gemini so great.
Uh, Jiminy, they just, I think, who said it on their team? Someone said, I think Sai said it after they beat, or after they lost. I don't know, whatever. Fucking, they played so much. Someone hopped in the VC. They just have, Jiminy just has chill, good DM, the team. And I think it's hard for them, it's hard for those players to lose, I think. They're all really, really solid, like, players. They all know how to play the game. Uh, they have artist on demo who is like fucking unreal and really difficult to play against. And then the rest of their team can just out DM any other team for the most part. I think that's their greatest strength is artist just does so much fucking damage that every fight for them is winnable. Um that's their biggest strength. That's how they convert. They just artist does a bajillion damage and then they can take any 1v1 off of that damage and then just win. Um or artist does so much damage and it creates so much pressure for them that they get to walk wherever the fuck they want. So they don't even need to like win advantages, like player advantages sometimes. I think if they have an advantage, they can just completely fucking smoke you with explosive damage and you're just forced to give it up. So that's my read on Jiminy personally. Very tough team to play against, all things considered. Um, yeah, that's my Jiminy read. Oh, I see you pulling up Blank's profile. Blank
Yeah,
is
it
a
was
Highlander player. Blank has unreal mechanics. That guy is so gifted. It's really fucking hard to play against that guy when he just 1v1s you and wins. Um, like all the time. And he just goes sniper and it's like, okay, I gotta deal with fucking Blank on sniper right now. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. This is a hard team to play against. They have really great mechanics and they just kind of put themselves in unlosable situations sometimes, I feel like, and it's really fucking it's tough. It's tough to play against them.
I actually was just trying to find the log and just happened to click Blank's profile. And I assumed like Blank was somebody I should know, but just forgot because I had brain damage. But yeah, I actually didn't realize he was a Highlander player who's just kind of risen through the ranks incredibly quickly.
Yeah, I think the only season that he actually played of sixes was that Make a Wish's E Foundation, because I'm pretty sure he was just a sub for Burger Cat. Pretty sure I know for a fact he was a sub for Black Swan, and then this is his like big invite sixes season. Um, but correct me if I'm wrong. I don't fucking know. But yeah,
Yeah, I don't fucking know. You know more than me on the topic. But yeah, I think that's all the teams or active teams that you. Oh yeah, there's also the cell.
the cell.
Yeah, what do you think about the cell? Give us the lowdown on the cell. What makes the cell
Man,
good?
the cell. They're also kind of chill, good DM the team, and I think if I'm gonna stack up the cell, um, if I'm gonna stack up the cell to if I'm gonna stack up the cell against Jiminy, I think they have Jay versus Divine. I think I take Jay over Divine. I take Artist over Dingo. I take Gungan over Greg. Yite versus High Five, I'll call it even. Blank and Soar, I'll take Soar. Psy and Raven, I'll take Raven. Like, they're very even. Like, these two teams are effectively the same. Like, Dingo's one of those demos who can hit every sticky on you, and it just makes you unable to do anything. And High Five and Greg will just bomb you and just will hit their rockets, and it's just like, okay, well, they hit their rockets. Fucking whatever, man. Sora and Raven will just run their medic around. Sora will go for a crazy play and hit all his shots. And Jae Hoonpei is Jae Hoonpei. So just another really tough team to play against. They're sort of the same team as Jiminy in regards to the chill good DM. Uh, like they're just tough. It's like, you know, you play against them and it's like, fuck, man. I guess we gotta roll out on Dingo every mid to make sure he can't shoot my demo man, because then like my team doesn't get to have fun. So yeah, it's a tricky team. I haven't seen much of J Medic. I think we've only played them twice with J Medic because I had Hubert the first couple weeks. They cut Hubert supposedly. I don't know. Um. So
You think they like? Let's just imagine they did. I don't know if they actually cut him or not. You think that was a good move, or you know, what do you think about that? Because I had some people saying, I had some Hubert the Fish truthers on here previously. They're saying, yeah, you know, they made a mistake. They should have stuck with Hubert the Fish.
um, Jay is just really, 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 really fucking good, and Jay can just bring the insight to kind of will these guys to victory, I feel like. Whereas beforehand, I think the real brains on this team would have been like Raven and High Five. And, you know, I think Jay just kind of really levels up their game sense and their decision making. And Jay also just, I think Jay just like blatantly mechanics diffs Hubert. So, yeah, I think I'd call it an upgrade. You know, it sucks when like you're the like Jay isn't a medic player, but like Hubert is a medic player. It like
Mhm.
sucks. Like I feel for Hubert being cut for like a not medic player, but like Jay just brings so much to the table for this team. It really, I think it's a good move for them. I think it made them more dangerous. I think it made their medic more survivable, and yeah, no real comment on the Hubert cut,
Mhm.
but I think Jay is. I would take Jay over Hubert on medic personally.
I mean, it sounds like a comment to me, but I mean, kind of as you said earlier, I mean,
I mean,
everybody
I don't know
knows.
why they cut him, because you know, there's like a mutual respect thing with your
Yeah.
teammates. Where it's like, I picked you up for my team, and this is our team, and we're gonna play with our team for the season. And I say that as someone who has cut multiple people. I've cut some of my best friends off of my teams, so yeah, I'm a bit reformed in that regard. I don't really go chopping anymore. I think I probably should have gotten more shit for it than I did when I was younger. Um,
Yeah, I mean, you had tall hair back then, so like that kind of protects you from everything. Not really
I
sure how
mean,
those
yeah,
things are related, but I feel
I think
like it
what really
is.
protected me was the fact that I was like 17 years old, and so if I caught my best friends, it was like it's just a fucking idiot kid, and just whatever, man. Um,
But kind of, I mean, everybody knows also kind of unrelated. Non-medic players are often, in a sense, better than medic players, or at least kind of career medic players, just because they have, and especially when it's J. I mean,
yeah, that's the thing, right? I think I was rewatching actually like Clockwork's top 100 breakdown, and you know he was saying the same thing. Like it seemed to be like quite the what's the word? Sort of everlasting opinion is that, you know, the fragging classes are better than the non-fragging classes, non-fragging players at the game. But, I don't necessarily think that's true. Even if it's quite the solid belief within the game. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, I wouldn't
Yeah.
I wouldn't, I wouldn't call Hubert a worse player just because he's the medic
Mhm.
player. I think that's unfair to medic players everywhere. Holy double bomb. I'm looking at the screen right now. That was crazy from Zam and Donovan. Holy shit.
I mean,
Respect.
I can insult medic players because I was one, so it's kind of like
I mean, yeah, I don't
saying
know. There's
slurs.
some medic players that you look at and you're like, really, brother? Like this guy, like this player is on this team, and it's like, I don't know. I think
Yeah. I mean,
it
look,
happens. Like, I don't know. Some medic players are like bad, quote unquote, but it's, whatever. Medic is medic.
at
As
the end
long
of
as
the
you have a
day,
buddy,
the
as
most
long as you
important,
have a buddy to heal you, like
yeah,
that's all that matters.
the most
Because
important part
without
about
medics, you don't have
medic,
a team.
the most important part of medic is having the ability to tolerate playing medic, or even
This
enjoy
is
it.
Yeah. If you enjoy playing medic, fucking, you're stronger than I am, dude.
Exactly. So that's a skill in itself. So it's not something that's factored in a lot. But yeah, I mean, I think that kind of goes over all the teams you guys you play against a bunch. Do you have any other thoughts on any of the other teams?
What happened to G6?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to get your thoughts on that. I was kind of curious if you had any insider
See, I don't
information
have
on.
thoughts. I didn't watch their games because I was busy scrimming or playing matches myself. That's the thing about playing an invite is you don't get to watch the invite teams because you're also playing the invite teams, or you're not. Because we don't scrim G6 and we don't scrim Bronze J. So I kind of don't have opinions on them, and I haven't been watching their matches because I'm playing my own matches. Um, it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I think some people are saying like, lol guy carried G6, lol guy carry Franz J. I think maybe some of it is. I mean, oh wait, hold those logs. I just want to look. I need to look because I didn't look at this game. Just hold it on the main page. Just zoom in on the main, like the top, what everyone thinks about when you're looking at the logs. Look at all the players.
They're gonna say
Yeah,
their shots, but
just I'm just looking. I'm just scanning.
uh, uh, the
Donovan,
the
Donovan
first
Spy, Zam Sniper, no surprises. That team off classes a lot, but I guess their scouts are doing defensive off classing.
yeah,
Kobe Sniper a little bit. Chris.
I know in the
Chris probably
first
on Envy
match
a lot.
I mean Loga just had a lot less stuff than Howard, at least in the first match. This match pretty similar.
Yeah, I think. Can you sort by damage? Yeah,
Okay,
Donovan and
apparently Donovan's going
Donovan and
fucking nuclear. Holy shit!
okay, Donovan's also. How much spy is he playing? How many backstab does he have?
He didn't get any backstabs. He
No,
just went
not
zero
one.
and
Okay,
one.
never mind.
Yeah.
I was about to say because backstabs they do like fucking 600 damage. So if he gets like two of them, that's like a lot of rockets. Yeah, Donovan and Sam, they are both really gifted mechanically. So I see I'm not surprised, especially on Gully Watch, those two topping the damage charts. Sam Giga damage positive, Donovan playing pocket, sort of damage neutral-ish, like plus 15. That's like to be expected. Soapy pretty damage positive, Logan pretty damage positive, Kobe damage positive. I think the attacking team, like if blue team won 4-3, definitely much more opportunity for them to be dealing more damage than they're taking if they're always in those winning situations. So, but then again, also you could also look at that and say like, eh, maybe maybe a lot of that damage is coming from the situations that make the winning situation. So whatever, fucking neither here nor there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened to G6. My goats are washed. I love them. They'll be back. I don't know. Soapy. Here's the thing about Soapy, right? I talk to Soapy. He's my friend. We hang out with our friends collective, and he's like, "Man, I don't play this game to just fucking sit around and play, man. Like, I want to fucking win." Soapy wants to win. Soapy wants it bad. I think. I think G6 they're losing in the regular season. If it's anything, if they're playing this season any similarly to their other seasons, they want it bad, and they're gonna try their fucking heart out to get it. So I think don't sleep on G6 just because they're losing in preseason. That's my only for anyone out there watching. If you're saying G6 is washed, nah, I'm a G6 truther. They'll be back. I believe in them. I believe in them fucking 110%. They'll be back.
I mean, do you believe in them? You know, I think it's completely understandable to say like, you know, they could be above like number two, you know, come playoffs time. But do you think they can beat Froyo? Is the real
They
question people
could.
want to
I
know.
don't see why they couldn't. Like the five of them have beaten Freo at like every LAN that they've like played at recently, like since 2023. Like they've won all the LANs. Um, I don't see why they couldn't beat them, right? And I think one thing I will say about that though is putting Banny on Combo Scout for the season and keeping him on Combo Scout is like a golden ticket because sometimes like what was that local host? The local host where they won in 2023. Banny was on Pocket for the season and switched to Combo Scout for the tournament. And I think that's bad
Yeah, just
because
completely different naming style and just
yeah, just
feel.
you're taking Banny. Banny is just here's the thing about Banny. Banny has just perfect calling ability. Like and on Combo Scout because he can see the game state and he can react to it and he is the player as the Combo Scout who can take the responsibility and actually make that shit happen. When Banny's on Pocket and Banny's trying to main call, he can't act on it because he's not the Combo Scout. So I think what was happening the last season when Banny was on Pocket and Brand Slam was on Combo Scout, I think, with Yite Flank Scout before they fucking whatever Yite cut from Proyotech or whatever, Yite left Proyotech. Um like Banny on Pocket doesn't get to make the decisions and act on them. Like it's there needs to be it has to go from one person's brain to their words to be to the ears of the person to their combo scout to the action of the combo scout versus Banny on combo scout. He sees it and he makes it happen all in one motion. So when they lost to G6 at localhost 2023 and Banny was on combo on Pocket Soldier for the regular season and then went scout for the tournament, like I think that's not you can't neglect that. Even though Banny's the best combo scout, like you take him from Pocket Soldier onto Combo Scout for one weekend, it doesn't bode well for him being in shape
Mhm.
for the tournament. You know what I mean? So that's my read on if G6 can beat Banny and like what's different this time around. Like Law Guy is better than Howard at Medic. I don't think that's a very cold take. Howard is still pretty good at Medic. Like don't get me wrong, but like you know
Yeah, low guy's low
when
guy.
yeah, Law Guy's fucking Law Guy, and when Law Guy goes to play for Franz J, G6 needs a new medic, and it's like those are big shoes to fill, you know. Like that's not a bad thing, and I'm not shit talking Howard because Howard's really good at medic too. But I don't think Howard is the reason they're losing. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm getting at
Yeah,
here. Howard isn't the reason that they're losing. Um, but it does make it harder for them to win. You know what I mean? Like I'm not.
yeah,
That's not
yeah. I
contradictory,
completely get what
right?
you're saying.
Like that makes that's not that I'm not contradicting myself there.
Yeah, like low guy. At the
Uh,
end of the day, like it's not doing anything bad. It's just like low guy. Like it's just that
yeah,
next
they're
level that
like
you can't
in
really
this game.
replace.
In this game, it's a one death difference between the two medics. Are you going to tell me that like Howard's the reason they're losing? Fuck no. There's got to be something else, right? Like
And
because
it's
they
like,
still have Logan, they still have Soapy, they still have Kobe, they still have bot mode, they still have Caps. Like though that's still an elite lineup. The six of them top to bottom. I think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking because I'm going in circles here.
no, I mean it's hard to say. Like in this game, I'm gonna have to rewatch this one. I'm really curious what happened because low guy had five more Ubers than Howard, but at the same time, Howard only died one more time, which is just pretty weird. So I don't know what happened, but um, yeah. I mean, I completely get what you're saying. Like Howard, really good. It's just I mean, especially in a game like TF2 where there's like so few players, there's like some people who are quite literally irreplaceable because there's just like is no other like player that is as good, you know?
Yeah, like I don't know. I would call Law Guy the best medic in the world personally. I don't know what the Europeans would have to say about that, but as far as I'm concerned, Law Guy's number one. So those are you got to fill those shoes, and I don't know. They still have an elite lineup, so yeah, they can get it done. I think G6 can win the season personally. Still, it's either gonna be. Oh, man, I hate saying this because I love the guys on Franz J, but I don't think. I think of the two and three seeds that you have on your power rankings, I think Franz J has lesser potential than G6
Hmm.
does. With all due respect, because I love those guys, I think G6 is the team that can beat Froyo Tech this season, and I think that's my prediction for a grand final: G6 Froyo.
Yeah, I mean, probably pretty understandable for most people. I mean, uh, at the end of the day, I didn't expect Franchier to be beating G6 twice in the regular season. I'm thinking, I mean, did anybody really expect that, really? But yeah, I think come playoff time at the end of the day, that experience, especially in a best of three series, it's going to be hard to bet against G6 at that point. But at that point, they are a little bit on the down right now. But I mean, I don't doubt your prediction at all. I think Royo G6 in the finals would not be unexpected at all. Would be probably the expected thing at the end of the day, especially considering the last game was so much closer than the previous one with Bronze J.
Can I? How much more invite talk do you have left in you? Because I kind of want to flip the script here.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got all the time in the world. Look, when you're drunk, time just doesn't really. It's not really
I've
a
got like
concept.
I've
So
got like
go
20
on.
minutes left. Okay, so
Yeah, go. You
I'd love
say
to
what you want.
scroll down to advanced really quick. You see that number one team right there,
Yeah.
the Anglerfish? It's come to my attention. This has been on my mind for quite some time. Like you as the manager of Anglerfish, like what are your responsibilities?
I used to like schedule things and like find players and talk to people, which and set scrims and stuff. But now I'm mostly just like here to sign the checks, I, like pay ringer fees and stuff like that. And Slice Rogue has been doing most like scheduling and stuff like that. Shout out to Slice Rogue. In contention for Employee of the Month, if you check the events calendar in this Discord, we do have an Employee of the Month thing coming up in a week. And you know, I'm gonna be honest, Slice Rogue's a contender. Yeah,
Awesome. Go vid. So, but like, previous seasons, like let's say we got Degnan playing medic like season 14. Like you as the manager, like what's you're just scheduling scrims and like what do you mean
yeah,
by like your
like kind of
talking to people?
scheduling. I'd come.
How present are you? Are you there for like the map reviews? Are you there for the scrims? Are you there just to like to talk to the team and
Yeah,
give
kind of
your
like
advice? Or are you just a background character?
yeah. It's kind of like as time went on, like the first couple seasons after I quit playing after season 11, after I achieved my seventh place championship and decided to go out on top. Um, I was like, kind of more present. I'd show up for like the reviews and stuff, and try to give my kind of seventh party opinion, kind of give that outside perspective. I'd be more active finding players and finding scrims and helping schedule. Because back, I mean, out of Mage, Ali, Golden, Tristan, Dag, none of those people really like manager type, so I was kind of helping out with that stuff. But since then, it's kind of just dropped off more and more as the season's gone on. Where I'll occasionally like bump an LFT or message some people for tryouts and schedule some scrims with someone that's out of town, but that's about it. So I'm more just here to get all the good glory, and if anything bad happens, I blame my players.
Gotcha. Understood.
I mean,
All right.
were you gonna say something about him, or I wasn't sure if.
No, I was gonna say anything about Degnan. I was just using an example. Like, what was the season? Like, well, I'm trying to think of like a season that you weren't on medic for that team and you were the manager. It would have been like season 14. I think is the last one that I remember personally playing against the Anglerfish. So I have another question about the Anglerfish. All right,
All right.
why did you drop the Austin part of the Austin Anglerfish?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say, yeah, season 8 was Anglerfish 3.0. I was kind of rebranding me on Scout. the new era, but that ended in an abject failure. We still got, made third place, not too bad. I'm not going to say it was a bad season. In fact, I really enjoyed. That's one of my favorite seasons. I really enjoyed it, in spite of that one clip. But the Austin part ended up just, it was just not it just didn't really flow well. You know how the Fast and the Furious movies,
Yeah,
like the
too
Fast
fast,
and the
too
Furious, Too
furious.
Fast, Too Furious. You have the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, and then you know get to the fourth one. It's just simplify the title, just Fast and Furious. It's kind of
Yeah,
like that. It's kind of like a reboot where you just like go back to the just keep it simple.
I see.
And I thought that was gonna be the last season, season 9, and it was not. It's not the end.
I understand. Okay, because it used to be the Austin anglerfish, and your tag was 503 for the Austin area
No,
code,
no, no.
right?
It's 512, 512. 503 is
512.
Portland.
Portland. That's right. My bad. I should have known that as a Burnsider. Yeah, 512. I thought that was dope. Because I love the Portland Burnsiders as like a team. You know what I mean? And so you're like the Austin anglerfish. I thought that was like a nice compliment. Um,
Yeah, I might have to bring
yeah.
that back. We'll have to think about that.
I
Uh,
mean, you don't have to. I mean, I think anglerfish just period is quite good. It's a good team name. You have a cool little logo. Uh,
yeah, I've been thinking about getting a tattoo with that. Anyone in the
I don't like
comments?
the. I thought you had like a better logo at some point. I thought there was like a sort of like a purplish one. Did you
Uh,
have like a more colorful logo at one point? Because this one is like this.
there's the if you look at the Discord, um,
Yeah, the
you
one
might
that's
be
on the
that one.
logo
Yeah,
for this Discord.
yeah,
Yeah.
that one needs to be updated. So I didn't include that because I kind of felt bad about it because it's like kind of stealing because Ali just traced over in MS Paint someone else's drawing and then just added a bunch
Oh,
of shit on top of it.
I see.
But it's kind of original content. It's
I
adjacent.
mean, the one that you have on your profile on the RGL page is still quite. He's a cute little guy. He has a top hat, and he's attracting little sticky bombs. Yeah, I fuck with this guy heavy.
Yeah, it's like I said, I'm still thinking about getting a tattoo of this
Really.
on my ass, but
Oh, bet. Awesome.
something like that. I don't know. Maybe just on my back, on my chest. You know, I don't know. I'm thinking
Gotcha.
about it. People in chat or comments, if you have any thoughts on this, let me know. But yeah, I mean, did you have any other thoughts, Mr. Juice?
I have no further comments.
Okay, so yeah, I do have a couple of other quick questions then. In that
Okay.
case, of course, as we said in let me find it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Vox2903 said, couldn't you get some high level players to talk about the economic state of the world instead of the same players? Could be more interesting, IMO. So I mean, I'm kind of curious. What's your thought on the economy? And I know there's the tariffs that are
Oh
on
man.
pause.
Thoughts on
You
the
have
economy.
the
Oh boy,
you're
man.
Canadian, so I know like there's the tariffs that they're set, then they're on pause. Not really sure what's gonna happen there.
Well, listen, right? So, free trade is what the world should aspire for, right? Free trade is, how farmers get their goods and it's how farmers can sell their product, right? Like any farmer in the United States could sell their product to any country in the world. Any farmer in America needs equipment from out of country, right?
Hmm.
And requires labor to build those machines from out of country, right? Like not everything can be made in America, not and America isn't the only consumers of the world, right? So, you look at the tariffs being put on America are being put on other countries just sort of blanketed and you know and you also here's the thing about Trump and his tariffs is we've seen this movie before and during his first presidency he had to do a huge bailout for farmers. You know what I mean? And so it's not it's just not tariffs aren't conducive to good trade. Tariffs aren't conducive to success in America. And I'm saying this as a Canadian, uh, as someone who, as my country, does a lot of trade with the United States of America, and we are obviously going to be very heavily impacted by the tariffs should they resume. Um, Trump is setting America up for failure. Personally, where is Canada? This is awesome. Um, yeah, it's quite sad to see because you know the political state of the world or economic state of the world is such that the world relies on the United States for its economy because the United States has the fucking greatest GDP or whatever, and count like
And
inversely
DPM.
like NDPM.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
determine it
I'm pretty sure USA is kind of farming in the DPM category, which is
in the
the
DPM
stat
category.
people
Yeah,
care
yeah,
about. You know.
this is true actually. No, you're right. But conversely, like the United States then also relies on the rest of the world to sort of fuel its economy as well, right? So they're holding hands, the United States and the rest of the world, and if Trump wants to go through with his tariffs, then it's not looking so hot for the United States itself, right? Because the tariffs are also paid by the consumer, right? So if the United States imports from China and there's a 10% tariff on Chinese goods, that goes to the consumer. And Trump himself also raised taxes for like middle income groups, and he decreased taxes for the wealthiest people in the nation. Now, say what you will about taxation being theft, but it sure seems like he's stealing more from the middle class and less from the upper class, who already, wage theft is one of the greatest sources of theft in all of America. And, how do you think those rich people get their money, right? They rip off, not only are they underpaying their workers, but, wage theft is a very real thing. And yeah, so if you're a worker in America, make sure your time is being paid for. Don't clock in if you're not, or I mean, clock in if you're doing work. Don't be doing work outside of clocked in hours. You know what I mean? Stand up for yourself. Unionize. Fuck yeah, buddy. That's my thoughts on the economic state of the world. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Love to hear that. So what I'm hearing is that, as you're saying that again, we're pro working class here on the Officer Reeks network. We are working class. You might think that with the hundred of views we get per episode, that we might be extremely wealthy, but we're actually not. We're with you guys, so we really appreciate that statement, Mr. Juice. And so I guess just one other thing I wanted to clarify. I think you're saying basically that you know for the sake of trade and the economy, which affects the world economy really, in North America. You're saying that Mr. Slynn should be the new prime minister, so he can annex the USA actually, and then using his risk experience, he'll lead to world domination and eventually um, everybody being rich.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself. I don't know how making Mr. Slynn the Prime Minister of Canada, I don't know how we'd get there given that he's not a Canadian citizen.
Wait, he's not Canadian?
But no, he's
Oh yeah,
uh,
that's right. He's in like California. That
he's
makes
from LA,
sense.
yeah. Yeah, anyways.
Yeah, that checks
Um,
out. That might have been
but
racist of me,
I
just assuming
support,
Asian.
if Mr. Slynn was on my ballot, I would vote for him.
I think it was racist. I just for some reason assumed he was Canadian because he was Asian, but that's beside the
That's
point.
wild. That's crazy.
Which is weird because I'm Asian and I'm not Canadian.
Yeah. Didn't really think that through, but then again, you've been
Nope.
drinking,
Yeah,
so
yeah, it happens. But yeah, I think that's all we got to talk about today. Like I said, Miss Juice, the people requested it. The Officer Week's Originals Network delivered. It's like Netflix originals, but different. And yeah, so I just want to see, do you have any last thoughts or shout outs or anything for our 150 viewers?
shout outs to all 150 of the viewers. You make the world go round.
Thank you, thank you. I mean, like I said, that's a shout out to 150 viewers. So watch it quick because it's a limited time offer. The last looking at the last one, 195 views. So those last 45 would not qualified for the shout out.
Yo,
So
Gibbler,
Get
can
them
you
quick.
make the last 5 minutes and 27 seconds of this video the Bernie Sanders video that you got on the side there?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one, man. I'll
All
see
right.
you.
Thank you.
In American history.
All right, I gotta go piss. I don't know what this video is, but gotta go. I'm gonna let this play while I use the bathroom.
President of the United States aligning himself with the dictator of Russia, Vladimir Putin, to undermine the independence of Ukraine and its democracy. Let's be clear. Trump is showing us that he sees one of the world's most brutal dictators as his friend and our longtime democratic allies in Europe as his enemies. He wants a world that is safe for authoritarians and oligarchs, but extremely dangerous for democracies. It will not surprise you when I tell you that Trump is lying, as he so often does. Yesterday, Trump said that Ukraine started the war. That's not true. Russia invaded Ukraine twice, first in 2014 and then again in 2022. Right now, Russia occupies about 20% of Ukraine. Since Putin's horrific invasion, over 1 million people have been killed or injured. Every single day, Russia continues to rain down hundreds of missiles and drones on Ukrainian cities. Putin's forces have massacred civilians and kidnapped thousands of Ukrainian children, bringing them back to Russian re-education camps. These atrocities led the International Criminal Court to issue an arrest warrant for Putin in 2023 as a war criminal. Further, Trump called Ukrainian President Zelensky a dictator. That's not true either. Zelensky won 75% of the vote in free elections. In fact, his approval rating is higher than Trump's. In the midst of a brutal war, Ukraine's parliament continues to function and free and unfettered political debate takes place. Trump claimed that our European allies have done little to support Ukraine in its fight against Putin's invasion. He said the United States has contributed 3 times more than Europe. But that's another lie. In fact, Europe has provided more aid to Ukraine than the United States.
All right, I'm back. Just got done
But it's not
pissing.
just that Trump is lying again. That's not new. It's what this all reveals about where he wants to take our country, and in fact, the entire world. Trump is cozying up to Vladimir Putin. So who is Putin? And what kind of world does he want to build? Putin is a dictator who crushed Russia's movement toward democracy after the end of the Cold War. Russia holds sham elections every 6 years where Putin wins 90% of the vote, and authorities don't even try to hide their ballot stuffing. There is no freedom of speech or free media in Putin's Russia. Protests are violently suppressed. Tens of thousands of people are in prison for protesting Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Political dissidents are harassed or thrown into jail. The bravest, people like Alexei Navalny, are killed outright. Hundreds of thousands of Russians have fled Putin's brutal regime since his invasion of Ukraine. But Putin has maintained control in his country by offering Russia's oligarchs a simple deal. If you give me absolute power, I'll let you steal as much as you want from the Russian people. And that's why in a country where many are struggling economically, Russian oligarchs have stashed trillions of dollars in offshore tax accounts. That is the Russian leader that Trump admires. That is the Russian oligarchy that he supports. But that is not the perspective of the American people. We know, and we are proud of, the fact that the United States of America is the longest standing democracy in the world. We know that many hundreds of thousands of brave Americans over the years have fought and died to defend democracy. We also know that our allies in the world are those countries that believe in democracy, not authoritarianism. In this critical moment in our history, I hope that every American, regardless of political perspective, will stand tall and say yes to democracy, no to oligarchy, and no to authoritarianism. Thank you very much.